Hello developers, in today's video we will know how to use the pulse counter peripheral in ESP32, with a simple example that counts when a push button is pressed. The pulse counter is designed to count the number of rising, or falling edges, or both of them, of input signals. The ESP32 has multiple independent pulse counter units, each with channels that can increase, or decrease the count, based on rising, or falling edges. Pulse counter channels can respond to both edge and level signals, but edge detection is usually enough for simple tasks. Some use cases of the pulse counter peripheral are frequency counting, event detection, and many other use cases. Let's illustrate the process. We have a push button connected as pull down to a pin, which is associated to a pulse counter channel. So, when the button is not pressed, the pin reads low. When the button pressed, the pin level will change from low to high, which makes a rising edge, and when the button is released, it will make a falling edge. In this example, we configured the channel to increment count at rising edge, and do nothing at falling edge. So at every press on the button, the count will increment, until it reaches a defined limit, then restart again. To use the pulse counter, we need to configure the pulse counter unit, which takes the high and low limit of the counter. And configure pulse counter channel, which takes the GPIO pin number. And configure the actions on rising and falling edges. In this example we increment on rising edge, and take no action on falling edge. We can register a callback function, that will be called when a watch point is reached. Like adding a watch point on number 10, so when the count reaches 10, the function will get called. We can also add a filter to minimize the effect of debouncing in case of a push button. Finally, you can enable and start the counter. The ISR callback will be called when a watch point is reached. It will put the event data in the queue. In the loop, we will get the data from the queue, and check if it's watch point 1, turn on the LED, and turn it off if it's watch point 2. And also in the loop, we will print the current counter value every 1 second. We will need these libraries. I'm using pin 19 for push button, and LED at pin 2. Define the queue length, and high, low limits of counter. I'm defining watch points at count 10 and 20. In the main function, we are creating a pulse counter task with 4 kilobyte stack size, and priority 5. In the pulse counter task, we are creating PCNT unit, and PCNT channel, and configure actions. Then registering a callback, and adding the watch points. Glitch filter with 10 microsecond value. Finally, you can enable and start the counter. Create a queue to communicate between the task and ISR. Set the LED pin direction as output. In the loop, we're processing the events from queue, and change the LED level based on which watch point is reached. And printing the counter value every 1 second. In the ISR, we're creating an event data that has the reached watch point, and putting this event in the queue. Build your project. Connect your ESP, and flash. Open monitor terminal.